Hello and a very warm welcome, driver ratings for the Spanish Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10 for their weekend. Driver ratings does divide opinion. Comment yours down below. Let's jump into it. Max 9.5, almost the perfect weekend. Qualified second, so close to pole. Wins the race with a lot of management. And he controlled the race as soon as he got past George. It was a champion's drive without the best car. Sergio Perez won. Once again, an underperforming weekend by the Mexican. Qualifies 8th, drops to 11th with the penalty, and then finishes 8th. Underperforming. It's not good enough for a Red Bull driver. It's as simple as that. And yeah. I mean, he's behind a lot of cars. Max is winning the race. Sergio's in 8th. I think they've made a mistake renewing his deal. Lewis Hamilton, 9. His best weekend of the season. Qualifying was strong and the race was strong. He's beat George Russell comfortably. And that is his best weekend of the season for me. Finally back on the podium. And that's going to give Mercedes a big boost. George Russell, 8. A good weekend, but not as good as his teammate. Qualified 4th, finished 4th. His highlight of the weekend was his start, as he went from 4th to 1st, but then dropped backwards after. The positive is Mercedes look in the fight now. Charles Leclerc, 5. Average weekend for Scuderia. A shit weekend in Canada, followed by a very average one in Spain. He hit Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc. No action. I mean, really, a slap on the wrist, a disgrace. Finished 5th. Had contact with Carlos. Just really poor by Ferrari all round. Carlos Sainz, 5. Qualified 6th. Finished 6th, a very average performance. I believe he had to give the place back to Charles late on. They had contact down in turn 1. I would say that was more Leclerc into Sainz, if I'm honest. Lando Norris, 9.5. Again, nearly a perfect weekend. That qualifying lap is world class. It's sensational, and he really is standing out this season and putting himself in for driver of the season. It was a world-class pole lap, but Norris got a poor start, and that's cost him. Mclaren have the fastest car. You cannot be creaming yourself about podiums now for McLaren. We have the fastest car. It's amazing we're in this situation, but we got to start converting these performances into wins. Because you can't keep going, oh, it's a podium. You have to have higher standards. And Norris, he did get fastest lap. But, a poor start cost him. Oscar Piastri, 3. And now I have hammered Oscar. He was really poor this weekend. Nowhere near his teammate. Murdered by Lando Norris. And he's quite generous to get 3, if I'm honest. Qualifying, massive mistake, turn 12, goes Sandcastle in. Massive error. Finishes the race in 7th. Nowhere near good enough for Oscar Piastri. And he needs a kick up the arse, because McLaren have the fastest car, and he's tossing it up in 7th. Standards. Alonso, 5. A very average weekend for Fernando. Qualified 11th, up to P10 with Perez's penalty. Finishes the race 12th. And Aston struggled for pace. Lance Stroll, 2. Qualified 14th, finished 14th. Nowhere. Just nowhere. And Stroll is another guy that should be replaced now. I mean, he's been in F1 a long time. Almost like 8 years or something. Gasly, 9. An absolute superb weekend by the Frenchman. He was outstanding this weekend. and up there with like the likes of Norris for driver of the weekend. He qualifies 7th in an Alpine, by the way. This lot finished last in qualifying at Bahrain. He gets into Q3, qualifies 7th, finishes 9th. A superb weekend by Gasly, really good. Esteban Ocon 8th into Q3, qualified 9th, double points finish for the team, and Alpine as a team are now 7th in the Constructors. A big improvement by this squad. Alex Albon 3. Williams, this track, wow, they were absolutely dreadful. They were the worst team around this track. Yeah, qualified 19th, finished 18th, no pace. I give him 3. He comfortably finished ahead of his teammate, but yeah, not great. Logan Sargent 0. I might as well keep that in for the whole season because I don't think it's going to change. Qualifies last, finishes last, penalty for blocking Stroll. Yeah, Williams made a mistake keeping him. 1-1 2. Yeah, probably his worst weekend of the season. Yeah, can't say any fairer really. Yeah, qualified 17th, a dreadful pace from the car. He got a 5-second penalty also for speeding in the pit lane, saying he was struggling to drive. But yeah, I would say that was Tsunoda's worst weekend of the season. But he set the bar quite high this season, so one off weekend needs to improve in Austria. Daniel Ricciardo 3, qualified 18th, finished 15th. Dreadful race pace, but yeah, he did finish 15th, so we'll give him 3. Guan Yu Zhou 7. Now, credit where it's due, Guan Yu Zhou. I think this is his best weekend of the season, so I'm gonna give him 7. Yeah, I've bruised him quite a lot on driver ratings, but today, a positive. He made Q2 for the first time. His best weekend in this season. Finished 13th. It's a positive race for Joe and a confidence boost. Porntash, Valtteri Bottas. Qualified 12th, superb. Finished 16th. A very bad strategy by Sauber. Yeah, really poor strategy. Nico Hulkenberg 5. Qualified 13th. Finished 11th. Top Haas again. Just missed out on the points, close to Ocon at the end. But, yeah, just missed out. Kevin Magnussen, 3. Qualified 16th, finished 17th. He got a jump start, and he had a slow stop. Yeah. So there we have it. Driver ratings for the Spanish Grand Prix. Driver ratings divides opinion. Comment down below your thoughts. Yeah. I try to give these marks as fair as possible. There's no favouritism. I know people like to wind me up about that, but there's no favouritism whatsoever. Like I say, I don't care whether you're 2 foot or 6 foot high. You're going to get marked as I see it. Comment down below your thoughts. Adios.